Okay, I just wanted to check in with you and give you some verbal information on the article analysis essay. So you have plenty of instructions in the instruction box, and the same instructions and more can be found on when you actually download the instructions. Okay, so your task is to pick an article that we have not read in class. I mean, obviously you're not going to pick Giovanelli or Carr or Wardle. One that we have not read in class from the text, Bad Ideas About Writing. And then you're going to compose an article analysis essay. Okay, so keep in mind that the titles for these little articles, we're calling them articles just to keep it clear because you're writing an essay. Okay. Remember, it's a bad idea, and so just like Carr's failure is not an option. Well, obviously she explains that failure is an option. So just don't forget that. Don't get confused about these little titles. In your text, this is concerning sections A1 and A3, and also instructions for this assignment separate from what I have here. So I just recommend reading all of this and reading the ones on 69 through 70, and then you'll have this really full understanding of what we're looking for here. So 69 through 70 have instructions, and then in your textbook there is a sample paper, and it's a really good one, pages 67 through 68. That is the paper written by Amelia Sanchez, and she's writing over the earlier essay or article called Big Box Stores Are Bad for Main Street. She is analyzing that article. And your textbook does a really good job of breaking down the different components of Amelia's paper. So I highly, highly recommend taking a look at this sample paper and the instructions in your textbook. I do kind of simplify this a little bit here. Don't forget that you need to set your essay up. Typically, it says 2 pages here. Well, you're going to notice that some of your samples are less or fewer than, they get into the second page that they're not a full 2 pages. I'm looking for anywhere between 350 words to 2 pages on this. It just kind of depends a lot on how long your original article is. I'm not going to get hung up on that. You'll see that back on these instructions, I went ahead and changed it to 350 words in length because that's what I used to have. And that's what the samples show. Okay, so back to this. This is what your paper will include, a little bit of each of these. And so you can have them, separated into paragraphs, or you can just intersperse summary and analysis throughout your essay. So you need some summary because your reader of your essay has not read this article. So you're going to have to provide all the information that is needed for your reader to understand your essay. Then, of course, the analysis is the huge part, right? Because that's what we're doing here. You're looking at how the author gets his or her point across, and you're judging it. That's what you're doing with an analysis. You are judging this article. And then, part of that is also explaining whether or not the argument is effective. So I point out here that some of your examples may show a bit of first-person point of view. I really would like for you to get in the habit of sticking with third person. Amelia Sanchez sticks with third person, so pay attention to her essay. Here is the little rubric I'll be using. I think it's pretty much the same. It has a few little different things from your first essay. Okay, so some concerns when it comes to this assignment. Number 1, make sure you fully understand the article that you have chosen. If you have a printer, print it off, and of course you don't want to print the whole Bad Ideas About Writing textbook off. That would be a waste of ink and paper. Print your article off and read it several times. Read it aloud. That's a good habit for you to get into anyway. Annotate your paper well and read it slowly, okay? And so the author's thesis should be contradicting to some extent to the title of the article. Don't forget that little piece. We still don't want to use you at any point in the essay. Summarize for an audience who has not read the article. Hit all key points that they need to understand it. And here's a biggie, limit your use of quotes, okay? So we need to practice paraphrasing and summarizing, and that you can do. Summarizing information is located on page 64 in your textbook, okay? And it is best to paraphrase when you can. Let me see if I can find that. It is a good idea to look at MLA2. That will help you with making sure that you're not overquoting and that you are using summary and paraphrase, okay? Do not plagiarize, okay? You cannot simply use the author's words without giving proper credit. Make sure that you put quotation marks around things that are actually quoted. And the page number needs to be provided whether you are paraphrasing or quoting, okay? So please proofread. It says first essay. This essay. Proofread it. Watch for any simple mistakes. And don't forget analysis, and it refers to a helper. So you have to understand, I wrote this a long time ago for a different class, so forgive me. But I'm fixing to show you the helper. And then, of course, use MLA formatting. The MLA section is already available in Writer's Reference, even though you may not have, quizzed over it yet. It's there for you, so use it as you need to. All right, so let's look at a sample real quick. This is a student sample on Giovanelli. And so you can literally title yours author and put the article in quotes. Do not title your essay with the same title as the article because that's plagiarism. I mean, you're writing about this article and not the article itself. I see Emily Sanchez. She calls hers, let's see, Rethinking Big Box Stores. So you can do a little catchy title like that if you'd like. Notice that in this first sentence, in the article, Strong Writing and Writers Don't Need Revision, comma, Laura Giovanelli argues that revision is necessary. I would really like to see right away in each of your essays the title of the article, the author, and that author's general thesis, okay? And then you can go from there. I'm not going to read this for you. I just wanted to point out a few things. Notice that the page number, because we have the student, Giovanelli, explains the writer has to make smart changes. She's direct quoting Giovanelli here, and so providing page 105 in parentheses, giving specific information about the article. Again, page 105. Some more information. And then, like I said, these are really short. In all honesty, I have changed up this assignment a bit, and that's why this one is so short. It's an old sample. But it's here just to give you an example of how to, to work in quotes and page numbers. And also, don't forget your works cited entry. Okay? So speaking of the works cited entry, I give you all a template. You will change the author, the article title, and then the page numbers, and that's it. So there's no reason why you shouldn't get this works cited entry correct. All right. Oh, how do I not have the textbook linked here? Well, let's fix that. Bad ideas about writing. Okay, and so bad ideas about writing. Let me take a sec to come up. Okay, so please notice that the page numbers, okay, if I were to print this is my printing page numbers here. The page numbers we're looking for on your entry are the actual PDF page numbers. So it's 104 for the Giovanelli, 104, and do the whole entry 104 through 108 because they always start a new entry on a separate page, okay? So that's where you will go and get your article. I suggest looking over the table of contents at the beginning. Sorry. I should have already. Okay. And seeing what titles stick out to you, right away. And then choosing your article from there. Okay. So, One more thing, you have this little helper here. If you just absolutely get stuck about how to pick apart your article, here is a little helper. Like, it just gives you some different questions that you can ask to help you get going on how to analyze. And remember, I mean, there's going to be a different, a huge variety of ways to analyze depending on what the author has said and how the author says it. So, okay, I hope all these help. Again, because of my short examples, I'm going to allow at least 350 words for this, but of course, please go further if you can and if you need to. All right, good luck.